Look at Shohei Ohtani looking like one of those traffic controllers telling Ramel Tapia to go that way. No. Go that way. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today. MVP versus runner-up in MVP. Ohtani versus Vlad. We'll see who won that battle. The Red Sox and the Reds scored a combined 46 runs yesterday, and then the Yankees added another mustache man. They just love them. Now, a quick reminder, if you're going to any baseball games, concerts, anything involving tickets, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off your entire order. All right, let's talk about the only walk-off from yesterday. The Tigers and the Guardians. Rookie Connor Pilkington walked himself into a ton of trouble all day, and Javier Baez took advantage in the first. You have Jonathan Scope lifting a sac fly later on, and then Miggy, he stays adding to those Hall of Fame stats. Tarek Skubal, he did allow 3 earned runs in the third, but honestly, I thought he was electric. He is easily one of my favorite young pitchers to watch in all of Major League Baseball. Sometimes you just get beat in a single inning, but he was absolutely nails after that. He set down 8 in a row at one point, and going into the 7th, he ends up throwing 105 pitches to really save that Tigers bullpen from having a big workload. It's still tied though going into the final inning when Jonathan Scope ropes a double. He gets to third base, and then Miguel Cabrera Miggy, he secures his 11th career walk-off as the Tigers, yeah, they beat the Guardians. Nice, not nice. We have the 2021 AL MVP versus the 2022 AL MVP runner-up. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he wants some revenge, and I think his teammates understood that this was a day they had to show up. George Springer, 48 career leadoff home runs. He is now 4th all-time in leadoff home runs, and we haven't talked about Santiago Espinal in quite some time, but there he is with an RBI. Bo Bichette, my favorite right-handed swing in baseball. He smokes a double to double the lead, and then the Halo score a few for Ohtani, and he really bared down and showed that dog in him. He K's the side in the 5th inning, so that's 1, 2, 3 strikeouts in a row. He stays in for the 6th when Vladimir Guerrero Jr. wins this battle. That's off the foul pole, so Vladdy has a home run in back-to-back games. Danny Jansen, he has to be talked about more, okay? That is 6 home runs. He has been one of the better offensive catchers dating back to 2021. The Blue Jays are a weird team because they're 9th in team ERA, but 19th in OPS. They're the exact opposite of what I thought. I thought they were going to mash, and pitching-wise, they were going to be good, but they're the flip-flop. I hinted at this at the beginning of today's video. The Reds scored 20... Oh, I actually did the math. 20 plus 16 is 36, not 46. I'm stupid. Kyle Farmer goes farming. He is, just pulling crops all over the place with a 2-run bomb. Tommy Pham brings it back to a 3-3 game with a double, and that sparks a huge 3-run inning. All right, so if you're not watching, go ahead and watch because it was a barrage. It was a full hit parade. Stevenson, Almora, Reynolds, and Nick Senzel all follow after Tommy Pham's lead, and they come away with 8 runs in a single frame. It's not really easy to do that. Farmer went yard again, and at this point, it would have been easier to talk about the strangeness of the Reds. While they go off for 10 more runs over the final 4 innings. I mean, this Reds team is weird because they have Luis Castillo and Tyler Mahle. Both of those dudes, they could be aces for about half of the teams in Major League Baseball. So they're really good. And the team, they're 9th in team OPS in the month of May, so they're hitting the ball extremely well. They're also 11 and 12 this month, so 1 game under 500, which is way better. I mean, they were on pace to be one of the worst teams in the history of our beautiful game. So the fact that they win 20-5 over a Cubs team that was playing pretty well as of late, are they a underachieving good team? Are they an overperforming bad team right now? What's the final verdict? But, I mean, scoring 20 runs is not easy. So again, I want to correct myself. The Reds scored 20 and the Red Sox scored 16, so I'm going to correct my intro. They did not score 46. It was 36. I should have not dropped out of college. Hernandez homers off of batting practice pitcher. Dallas Keuchel. Story delivers right after that with an RBI of his own, and Verdugo barely misses a home run to make it 3-0. Trevor Story is able to get enough juice on this one, and I think he may have kissed the clouds. That ball was hit a million feet in the air. That's 7 home runs and 20 RBIs over his last 7 games. But I do want to shout out Andrew Vaughn of the Chicago White Sox. He cleared the bases in the 3rd and then smoked a 2-run shot to drive in 5 RBIs on the day. He's hitting .292 with the 146 OPS plus. That's awesome. Back to Boston. So 5 separate singles spanning between the 7th and the 8th inning break the game completely open as the Boston Red Sox push it all the way to a 14-5 ball game, and then for good measure, Kevin Plawecki homers off of Josh Harrison, and the Red Sox beat the White Sox 16-7. So anytime the White Sox score 7, you think they have a good chance of winning that ball game. Not when you have Dallas Keuchel starting. I don't know if he's washed per se, but I don't believe that he is a viable starting pitcher anymore. That's just my opinion. The Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, kind of the last of the blowouts from yesterday. Freddie Freeman loves hitting behind Mookie Betts because Betts seemingly is always on base. This double brings him home for the game's first run, and Will Smith is so good, man. Over his last 100 and let's just call it 60-ish games, 24 doubles, 29 home runs, 97 RBIs, and a 126 OPS plus. Him and Danny Jansen might be the new best offensive catchers in baseball. We have some young catchers on the upcoming, what's the saying? We have some young catchers on the, what's the saying? There's a lot of young catchers that are good. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at that. Now, let's talk about defense for a second because Gavin Lux brings so much value there. He can play outfield. He can play second base. He shows off the second base skills right there. Chris Taylor laces an RBI extra base hit, and Freddie, no, not that one from iCarly, Freeman, a 3-run home run, and then has an RBI double to give him 5 RBIs on the day, so he matches Andrew Vaughn. Dodgers pitchers were great, but the story of the game was that lineup. Trey and Will add to it before Cody Bellinger rips an RBI ground rule 2-bagger. Chris Taylor destroys his 5th home run of the year, and then Cody Bellinger says, I am not done yet, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to have more RBIs. That is a 2-run, I think it was a double. This was off of my former teammate Jake Hager. Anyways, the Dodgers earned their 30th win, and every single hitter in that lineup left that game with 2+ hits. So one of the few times in history that every single hitter had multi-hit games. All right, so enough with the blowouts. Let's talk about some close 1-run ball games. The Royals and the Twins. The Minnesota Twins dominated, well, not dominated, but they did go into the 8th with a 2-0 lead after Smeltzer carved them Royals up. Whit Merrifield plays spoiler in the 8th with a massive 2-run double to tie it, and then the other Whit, Bobby Witt Jr., plays hero ball. You absolutely love to see it. The Twins are going to make the comeback, though. The bases are loaded with nobody out. There's a strike. There's bad. Wow. Scott Barlow is able to escape that with no damage done, and then Bobby Witt Jr. ends it with a throw to second in the 9th inning. So that's kind of a golf clap moment right there. The Brewers and the Cardinals, another 1-run game. Luis Urias bodies this baseball, and it leaves Adam Wainwright stunned.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
Tyrone Taylor grabs an RBI, and I just want to mention that Tyrone has 16 home runs and 62 RBIs over the last 120 games, so he has been quietly very good, but the Cardinals offense has been clicking lately, so you know that they were going to fight and tie it right back up. Yelich, though, attaboy! McCutchen also helps out Eric Lauer in the 4th with Milwaukee's 4th run of the day. That ended up being huge because the best first baseman in baseball, I mean this year at least, Freddie Freeman, Matt Olson, Paul Goldschmidt. There are so many elite first basemen right now. Even though Olson is struggling, I still put him in that conversation. But Goldschmidt is now hitting .407 with 12 doubles, 7 home runs, 24 RBIs, and a 1260 OPS in the month of May. The only problem is, though, his team still lost. Josh Hader was back in that closing role. He punches out 1 en route to earning his MLB best 16th save of the season. The Yankees and the Rays. So before the game, the Yankees signed and added Matt Carpenter to the lineup. From 2012 to 2018, he was a 3-time All-Star and top 12 and MVP 3 separate times and led the league in doubles twice. So hopefully they can find the fountain of youth and get some production out of Matt because they have been torched by injuries. Anyways, the lefties were showing off yesterday. Nestor Cortez throws 5 shutout innings with a few strikeouts, and Yarbrough tried his best to keep up, but he unfortunately ran out of gas, allowing a run to Aaron Judge before being taken out. Andujar smokes a ball. Taylor Walls, who said before the game the Yankees are beatable, he's hitting like 140 now and made his 7th error of the season as 2 runs cross home plate. Nestor has been the Yankees' ace this year. He ends up going 8 and lowering his ERA to 1.7. Aaron Judge has a sac fly, and Anthony Rizzo makes sure that the Tampa Bay Rays understand that New York, they ain't playing around this year. The Nationals and the Rockies, Nelson Cruz and Josh Bell do damage in the 1st inning, with Yadiel Hernandez hitting a booming double to cap a solid start to the game. I won't show it though, but the Rockies end up cutting the deficit to 4-3. They attempted the comeback, but it didn't mean anything because Cesar Hernandez, he smokes an RBI double, and Washington ends up with 7 runs after a Josh Bell sac fly and a Victor Robles bunt single. Both teams are looking towards the future, so I'm going to ask a question. Who is going to be elite first? The Washington Nationals or the Colorado Rockies? You know what JT stands for? It stands for just tatered, because that is Realmuto's 3rd tater of the year. Kyle Wright was tasked with trying to get through 7 innings, but unfortunately, just like Ryan Yarbrough, he ran out of gas. Odubel Herrera smokes a double. I guess I'm saying smokes a double. He brings home 2 for Aaron Nola, and Castellanos barely misses a home run. This one is just deep enough to get it past Heredia. Aaron Nola, almost at Austin. He finally does not implode after throwing 5+ innings. Usually his weakness is getting to the 6th and the 7th. He strikes out 10 over 8 1/3, so he was 2 outs away from a complete game. And this brought some joy to my heart because I miss prime Aaron Nola, and I just hope that he figured out something and he can continue this going forward. And last but not least, the Rangers and the A's, Martin Perez and Frankie Montas escaped a bunch of jams. They both allowed 1 earned run over 7 innings. Martin had 6 strikeouts, and he leaves that game with a 1.6 ERA, and Montas strikes out 11. The A's are licking their chops at the trade value of Frankie Montas. It just keeps increasing and increasing. Basically, if a team now wants Frankie Montas, they're probably going to have to give up a solid player and a top 10 prospect because Montas has been nuts this year. Adolis Garcia and Nate Lowe both flexed the power in the 9th inning. Adolis with a double and Nate Lowe with the home run, and their 3 RBIs give Joe Barlow a chance to save it, and he does exactly that. Joe Barlow quietly has 8 saves on the year. So to end today's recap, before we get into the web gems, I wanted to give a quick shout out to today's super thanks comment. This one comes from Manuel, who said I was mean to the Astros. I don't remember that, but thank you for the extra support. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for everything as of late. Stay safe out there and enjoy the web gems.
Jansen drives that one left field. Brandon Marsh on his horseback, leaps up, makes the catch. Brandon Marsh
over the wall. This is a rocket over his head.
I was just going to ask you. I think
Go
that's
to Clement. Grounded to third on the backhand. Candelario. That's a special play.
There he gets a good jump on that one, not like the soft hit one. That's sometimes.
This is slicing into fair territory. If they can get a man there, Peralta has got it.
The good thing is they're prepared. They're thinking about it.
Oh, what a catch by Urshela.
Just robs him of an extra base hit.
Takes everything to play a good third base, including some.